Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and my 11-year-old has been out of school for just a few days, and now every single day it's like, what's for breakfast? What do we have? Can we go get something? Blah, blah, blah. This is my life now, and it's going to be like this all the way to August. Used to, I could sit here, look at the news, sip my coffee. Now this. Now I am losing one this year. I do have one going off to college. But man, that 11-year-old, he doesn't give up. He's right outside the door. I'm sure he'll give me an earful about even talking about this. That's okay. I can handle him. All right. The FIT21 bill did pass the House in an overwhelming vote. Here's Meta Lawman. 71 Democrats joined the Republicans in repudiating Gary Gensler in his reign of terror over crypto. That's actually funny to think about, reign of terror from such a little man. Small man complex. And then he's got, here's the names of the 71 Democrats. He says there's something happening here. There's something happening here. I know that this one, I wanted to show this because this, let me tell you what, folks. This right here infuriates these evil you-know-whats that have been behind trying to stop crypto. This infuriates them, folks. Ryan Selk is with Donald Trump, and he says, thanks for having cryptos back, Mr. President. 50 million American investors and 10,000s whose livelihoods are tied to this industry appreciate your support, your support in keeping innovation and jobs in America and ensuring digital dollars dominate the 21st century. Offense, 279 to 136. And let's acknowledge one of the good guys here. This is Tom Emmer.
2 minutes.
He was talking about it before it passed.
From Minnesota, a great leader for digital assets, cryptocurrency, and innovation, Tom Emmer.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, we have an opportunity to determine whether the next iteration of the internet will be designed by Americans or if it will instead reflect the values of some other nation. The FIT21 Act gives us that opportunity and unlocks a larger conversation beyond innovation. This bill is about national security. It's about consumer protection. It's about global competitiveness. It's about shaping what the future global digital economy looks like and how it functions. Currently, all online transactions are intermediated. But as we move deeper into the digital age, digital assets are key to decentralizing the internet so Americans can transact directly with each other. Now, no intermediary needed. Without crypto, we don't have this ability. And I think giving Americans the choice to do business through an intermediary or directly with each other is important. Having that choice will fundamentally alter the digital economy, unlocking new opportunities for Americans and individuals across the world in ways we haven't even begun to contemplate. However, this Congress can no longer stand by as regulators squander this opportunity right within our grasp. This administration has demonstrated they simply are not willing to allow the digital asset industry to innovate in the United States. For every legal inconsistency or regulatory hurdle they produce, instead of coherent and informed guidance, they drive American digital asset users into less safe jurisdictions. That's why the FIT21 Act is significant, to set clear and consistent rules for American innovators. Among the many important provisions in this bill is My Securities Clarity Act, bipartisan language tailored specific.
Okay, you get it. Tom Emmer's one of the good guys. This was Patrick McHenry on CNBC this morning.
Where do things stand right now? What happened?
Well, this should serve as a wake-up call. We had 2/3 of the House of Representatives vote in favor of clarity for crypto. It creates a legal framework, giving the SEC a proper role and the CFTC a proper role rather than the conflicting set of regulatory actions that those two agencies have taken over the last 10 years. Congress settles it and settles the dispute. It settles what is a digital asset, gives a legal framework for trading and the purchase of those assets, and I think that's an important thing. This was a vote that included 71 Democrats across the ideological spectrum. That should be the wake-up call to the Senate. That should be the wake-up call to the administration, and in sound policy. So that's the message today, and the outcome of that vote yesterday is that the Senate needs to take action so we have legal clarity and so we can catch up to the rest of the world and be competitive in the world of digital assets.
It has been a long time coming. This is a crazy turf fight that we feel like we've been watching to kind of play out. But you don't have necessarily support in the Senate at this point. What are the odds of anything getting picked up in the Senate? What are the odds of this passing in the Senate?
Well, look, last week we passed a Congressional Review Act repeal of really an adverse ruling by the current regime of the SEC on how you hold crypto, how regulated financial firms hold crypto. It's a very...
Okay, you get the gist of it. I'm not going to play his whole thing, but I did want to show you where Brad Garlinghouse weighed in. Remember his tweet from December 2023? Stunning hypocrisy from the person who cozied up to the biggest fraud in recent memory. Gensler is a political liability whose actions have decimated consumers and destroyed the integrity of the SEC while remaining buddy-buddy with Wall Street. And then Brad Garlinghouse retweeted it yesterday. He says, well, this certainly has aged well. Today, more than ever, we are seeing what a political liability Gensler has been to the Biden administration. It's the reason we saw 71 Democrats cross the aisle and support FIT21. We are just getting started. I'm going to skip that one because I just showed you that. But it is important. We showed you one of the good guys, Tom Emmer. It is important to show you just how dumb the bad guys are. Maxine Waters thought that it would be a good idea to invoke Gary Gensler in support of her position.
CC Chair Gary.
Imagine being that dumb.
Himself. CC Chair Gary Gensler himself, who confirmed in a recent statement regarding this bill that it would have a broader impact on traditional securities. Interestingly, I don't hear any arguments from the
Imagine thinking that anyone in that room thinks Gary Gensler has any credibility left.
Republicans at the Rules Committee hearing, disputing that this would in fact be a regulatory no man's land, even if they insist it's just for crypto. Even for crypto, that would be transferred over to the CFTC. I have serious concerns about the...
Enough of that garbage. Okay, this is another interesting thing that may have been missed by a lot of people yesterday. One of the things that's going on here is not just that bill being passed and Democrats jumping ship on Gary Gensler. The other thing is some of these guys, the congressmen, are now going after Gary over the CCP-backed Prometheum thing.
It is pretty simple.
I'm not going to show this whole thing, but look at this first minute or so.
As the Treasury Secretary, in consultation with the CFTC and the SEC, to complete a study and submit a report to Congress that identifies any digital asset registrants that are owned by governments of foreign adversaries. The report will determine whether foreign adversary governments are collecting or trading personal data about American citizens in the digital asset markets and evaluate whether foreign adversary governments are misusing or stealing any proprietary intellectual property of digital asset registrants. The GAO is required to complete a study and submit a report to Congress on the very same issues. This amendment would promote transparency regarding how our nation's strategic enemies may be exploiting the digital asset marketplace to invade the privacy of Americans and steal valuable intellectual property. In June of 2023, the financial services hearings that focused on the very bill that we are considering today, Aaron Kaplan, the CEO of Prometheum, the first and only SEC FINRA approved special purpose broker-dealer for digital assets, stated that Prometheum and its CCP partners entered into a joint agreement in December of 2018 to develop a blockchain trading system where the Chinese partner took a 20% stake in Prometheum. In case anyone has any doubts about the CCP ties, Prometheum's Chinese partner's company was founded in 1969 by a former senior CCP official. In 2021, the party's Central Committee named a National Excellent Communist Party member. In July of 2023, several of my colleagues and I sent a letter to the SEC and the DOJ expressing our concerns with inconsistencies in Prometheum's public filings and the CCP's ownership of an entity that had the blessing of the SEC and FINRA to operate in the United States. I followed up on this letter in September 2023 hearing with the SEC's Gary Gensler, where he dodged my question and did not take my concerns of the 20% CCP ownership of Prometheum seriously.
All right, see, so they're coming after Gary now, and they sent this letter from Patrick McHenry, Huizinga, French Hill, to Gary Gensler demanding more information on Prometheum's plans to custody ETH given regulatory uncertainty surrounding its classification. So Gary's not getting off the hook. Now, before we leave all this, folks, just like we did when this bill was going to the House, I'm going to do the same thing here. Everybody listening to my voice needs to do, this is, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I think his name's Corey something. He's from the Digital Chamber of Commerce, and he's telling you what we've got to do next. Now it's time to call your senator.
Hey everyone, this is Cody Carbone from the Digital Chamber coming to you.
Cody Carbone, I met him at XRP Las Vegas. Nice guy.
Today with massive news out of the crypto policy space. Today, the House of Representatives passed the Financial Innovation Technology for the 21st Century Act, the FIT bill. This is the market structure bill that provides clear jurisdictional lines between the SEC and the CFTC for digital assets. If you're a consumer or an investor out there, this is massive as it finally provides the clarity and the consumer protections that we all need to make sure that this market is safe for us. This bill passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, and we're now already looking forward to next steps. This is where we need you. We need you to help us make sure that the Senate takes up the mantle and addresses the bipartisan need for clarity for the digital asset space. So we're calling on you to help us, to call your senators, call using this number right at the bottom of your screen, asking them to take up.
That's 202-224-3121 if you're driving down the road.
Legislation to get the clarity passed that this industry deserves. The job is not done. So please reach out while you're celebrating today and help us move this bill forward.
Start calling, folks. We're going to call 202-224-3121 and tell your senator to pass the FIT bill. Okay? This is where we really turn it on. Now, today you got the ETH, the potential of the approval of the ETH ETF.
Sure. When I heard about it, slightly before the news broke, and at first I was like, how does it make sense? Because everybody you talked to said there was no comments from the SEC. I have to think that maybe some of this was political. Clearly this issue is getting away from one party, and maybe they were like, look, this is going to be a huge story. If it's denied, it'll have legs. Big asset managers involved, and potentially they're thinking that we can't be seen as this anti-crypto. That's my thesis.
There has been a complete sea change in Washington around crypto. I think the reason for it is that traditional Wall Street wants in on the money that crypto is making. If you remember, shortly after the Bitcoin ETF launch, a panoply of Wall Street lobbying organizations, the ABA and others, put out a letter requesting the ability to enter the custody space. I think they saw the amount of money that could be made in custody and could be made in stable coins. And then BlackRock came in, the ETFs were a success. Tether is making more money than Goldman Sachs. And now you have Wall Street wanting to get in on that. And it's no coincidence that Schumer is located in New York, that the financial services industry is the number one donor to his campaign. I just think there's this unusual, uneasy alliance that emerged between crypto and traditional Wall Street that is going to lift the industry higher.
Yep. Wall Street was always going to come. You think that they've sat on the sidelines and they watch Binance and all these companies make all these billions of dollars, Tether. You think they're going to just sit there and look at it? Oh no, we're not going to participate in that. No. That's not the way this is going down. That's the reason I've always been so excited about this space. Now, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com. One of the interesting things we're going to talk about is what we talked about yesterday. And I have to warn, there's some wild AI speculation that'll be in this. But we're going to talk about some other things too. But the main thing is we're going to go over what an interesting tweet having to do with what I showed you from Grok yesterday. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that away we go.